Humans of the Cardboard, insane news tonight. I am so hyped. I am very excited to get into this. Okay, two huge things. First and foremost, 4 brand new GENEX cards revealed tonight. I have not read a single lick of any of these cards. I've only seen that there's a Synchro, a new Link 1, scary, and I think 2 main deck monsters. So very hyped to see because there's really not a ton going on with GENEX. I know they have like Undyne, which can summon, a controller from decks, so it can't put 2 bodies on the field. But other than that, I have like no idea really if they do anything at all. So I think they need a lot of help. And we got the artwork revealed for the new Terminal World set, and it does include artwork for whatever the 4th archetype is. Obviously, Ice Bears, Infernoids, GENEX, and the last one here. They say at the top of this thing that it looks like it resembles Ritual Beast Tamer Lara. Really hoping this is Ritual Beast. It could technically be Gusto. It could, I don't know, like Zephyras have artwork, have some of the other archetypes in them, right? There could be something random tomfoolery going on as far as what it is, but I think if they chose an artwork like that, it's probably just Ritual Beast, which is really cool. I'm excited to see if that is the case, what they end up getting there. But yeah, let's get into the thing. I've rambled enough for a minute and a half. Let's start off here with the new Synchro monster, Arms of GENEX Return 0. It's a level 10 Dark Machine Synchro monster, 31, 2950, very big. I like that. Level 10 have been really easy to make as of late. Materials are any Dark Tuner plus a non-tuner monster, so pretty generic. Just needs the Dark Tuner to be made, which I believe GENEX Controller is. Yep, he's your level 3 tuner. Here's what he does. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish one monster from your graveyard with the same attribute as that monster, but a different one than those banished. Than those banished to activate this effect of this card's name this turn. Negate the activation if you do destroy that monster. Whoa, okay. So I guess the way this is kind of working for me is this is a negate. It's almost like access code a little bit, where it's more so like Signet Codec, where like it searches for every new attribute of like Code Talker you summon. But in this instance, this is a negate, but you banish a monster with the same attribute as the monster being activated, and then as long as you still have the required attributes engraved to banish, you can keep negating those types of attribute monsters. But you can only do each attribute one time, I believe, with this. So very cool. That's pretty powerful because it's not once per turn at all, as long as the deck you're playing against is not all one attribute. And, as long as it's not all one attribute and, and you're able to get the different attributes set up, that's pretty cool. All right, cool. Once per turn, you can target up to 6 of your GENEX monsters with different attributes that are banished or engraved. Shuffle them into the deck. Then you can destroy up to that many cards in the spell and trap zone. Okay, so that's a pretty good board clear as well. Not too shabby at all, as well as being able to reset some stuff. I love that the main thing with this is that I'm assuming that if you're making this in GENEX, you're making it with controller, which means bare minimum you should have a dark negate at the very least, and then every bonus attribute you have on top of that obviously gets thrown in. This could be a card that pairs pretty nicely with hand traps, right? You play Veiler, that gives you a light. You play Ash, that gives you fire, right? There's a couple of different things there that are pretty cool. Not a bad card, honestly. It has a high ceiling. It's going to be matchup dependent on what your opponent's going to play into this card with, but not a bad card, all things considered. And it's actually pretty generic. This card could come up as a generic end board piece for sure. All right, this is the card that's going to change a lot here, depending on how good it is. This is Repair GENEX Controller. I love the artwork. I love it. He's a Link 1. He points to the left. He's a Dark Machine. And he's 1200 attack, which is actually pretty high for a Link 1. 1 level 4 lower GENEX monster, so very easy to make. I didn't know if this was going to be one of those things where it could only use a GENEX normal monster, so you had to make it with controller or something, but we'll see. You can only special summon 1 of this card per turn, okay? If this card is Link summoned, you can add 1 GENEX monster from your hand, from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Gets whatever you used for it, add it back to hand. That's pretty cool. Once per chain, not even turn, if a GENEX monster or monsters is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can immediately after this effect resolves normal summon 1 GENEX monster. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except by Synchro Summon using a GENEX tuner as material. Whoa, okay. So, this card seems pretty strong, but it does have a really brutal restriction to it, right? Okay, so the way I like to think about this is like GENEX Undyne is not once per turn at all. So if you go normal Undyne, send a water from deck to grave to add a GENEX controller, then you can add it back with repair GENEX controller, and then normal summon again for another Undyne, send another water monster and another controller, and you go from there. Very interesting. Now you just add the GENEX controllers to hand, so you're not guaranteed a way to actually make a synchro summon, but I'm guessing maybe one of these other main deck monsters could have something to do with that. But okay, the fact that some of the old cards are not once per turn could have some spice here for sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Oh, this is also a water, so this could actually be sent off of Undyne. We'll see if there's synergy there. This is our GENEX Undyne, a level 4 water aqua effect monster. 17-11 for the stats. Once per turn, you can banish one GENEX monster from your graveyard. This card gains that monster's attribute. Then, if you banished a tuner to activate this effect, you can treat this card as a tuner until the end of this turn. Interesting. I'm going to assume that this only copies the attribute on the field, so it doesn't help with like the negate monsters effect, but still interesting. So, trading for attribute. I know some of the synchros that GENEX have can only be made with certain attributes. So this could banish a GENEX controller to copy the dark, and then it can become a tuner as well. So then, it can help you get to the 9 potentially. So that's cool. Second effect, if you control a GENEX synchro monster, you can target 2 GENEX monsters in your graveyard, including this card. Add them to your hand. Also banish any card sent to your graveyard for the rest of this turn. Whoa. Weird. So this is from graveyard. I mean, I guess it's like a pretty good like follow-up card. If you just use this card for your combo to like make return 0, then in like the last thing you do with your turn pretty much would just be our GENEX Undyne adding itself back and any other GENEX monster back. Now it does take attributes out of the graveyard, so just be weary of that. But like it is still a really good amount of follow-up for sure. Just be careful that you are locking yourself into like the banish. You're getting everything banished. This card's not too impressive to me, to be honest. Now we do have the Link 1, so that's pretty good. But I'm still not fully convinced by this card for sure. Okay, let's see if the last one kind of brings it home. This is our GENEX Turing, a level 2 Dark Spellcaster Tuner effect monster. Okay, so it is a new tuner, which is cool. 600 attack, 600 defense. You can only use the first effect once per turn. During your opponent's main phase, if you control a GENEX monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon a GENEX synchro monster. Interesting. I know they have a bunch of synchro monsters. I'm not sure how many of them are like actually good at all, but that's pretty interesting. Huh. Because I think they have a good amount to where like they have a good amount of levels. So this card could have some actual like you could have some specificity on how you want to like end your board depending on like what levels you want to leave up and quick synchro into, which is cool. Oh, even better. If this card on the field is used as synchro material for a GENEX monster, it can be treated as a level 1 or level 3 monster. So that's even better. This card's pretty good for sure. I still am not totally sure what if GENEX even does anything. These cards are not the worst things in the world. I'm just honestly not sure if the deck still does anything. Now, this is a decent card that lets us play on the opponent's turn, which I kind of like. But like making this guy on the opponent's turn doesn't particularly do anything, right? Like it'd be the same as just making him. So maybe there are some GENEX synchros that like when they're summoned, it's a little better because then they pop off on summon, so we thought they were just kind of like, maybe a card that can go second, but now we learn, that summoning them on the opponent's turn is actually decent. I have no idea. I'm scrolling through a couple of them here. I don't think they're very good reading them here. They don't seem very good, but something to keep an eye on for sure. Here we go. When this card is synchro summoned, take control of the face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest level. That's Locomotion R GENEX. Interesting. Not amazing, but not terrible for sure. I don't know. There's not a ton of stuff here. There's not a ton of like crazy stuff here, but I still respect it. That Konami even pushed this at all. The restriction on this guy is brutal. I honestly think at the end of the day, the most interesting card here is actually Return 0 because he's a generic enough Synchro 10 that I think depending on the format, depending on what your deck does, like if your deck sets up multiple attributes in Grave and like you know you're playing against like a more rainbowy type deck that uses a bunch of attributes, like why would you ever make Barone if you could just make this guy? Like if you do use a Dark Tuner, right? So that's pretty interesting for sure. There you go, though. There's our new GENEX cards. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't know what to expect here. The Link one is good for GENEX, but it does hard lock them. I'm not sure they really even still do anything. I'm definitely curious. Let me know in the comment section down below if this deck does have some crazy plays that I just don't know about because I don't know the old cards as well. So feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. But to me, to be honest, the bigger news here tonight is that Ritual Beasts are almost confirmed. Like I said, I don't want to say 100% definitely, no doubt, but this does look very much like Lara from Ritual Beast. So I'm excited to see what goes on there. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching as always. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on these new cards as well as potential Ritual Beast support. But I'm out of here for today. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.